Okay, hopefully I make this short and sweet. I have a tendency to ramble on, so apologize up front. I'm not an attorney, nor care to be an attorney. I try to kind of keep my eyes open and never just look straight forward. I always look around me to be able to protect myself by any means necessary. So I do make mistakes, and whatever my opinion is on this is opinion. Simple fact, I'm not an attorney. Alright, I don't want to be chained down to the bar. And y'all seen a couple of videos of me talking about family court and all that a little bit, and showed the corruption in family court. But what is the main corruption of this court? Right, everybody's kind of throwing this and this and this out there. Okay? Whoopsie. But everybody needs to do this. For the love of God. This is the most important thing you should do. Okay? And I'm not giving no legal advice, but this is what you should do. Before you marry anybody, read the 4D federal law, and I think that state laws can kind of add to it. Not 100% sure. I'm not an attorney and I have not digged into every state. Alright, but I think they can add to it with the state laws on the 4D. Okay? And this is for family courts, y'all. Alright. Number one, you guys need to recognize this more than anything else. There is absolutely zero laws that anybody has to pay child support. Period. We're under the assumptions there's a law. Okay? But as far as I'm aware of, I have not seen any laws saying you had to pay it. Just like there is no laws in Texas that when I buy property, I have to take it to the deed register. There are zero laws that says I have to do that. We're just under the assumptions that we have to do these things. Alright, that being said, I want to tell all your guys out there and women out there, do your kids. Help the best you can. Alright? Both sides should want the best for them. Okay? But I think you ought to keep it in the private and quit intervening the courts involved in these things. They're not your friends. Even when it seems like they're your friends, they're still ripping you off. Especially attorneys. Okay? Most families have to pay $75,000 when it's said and done with. Alright? And that's if you get a decent attorney. But the 4D family courts, it specifically says that there has to be a contract. Alright. Let's just put me involved in this, alright? So me and my wife gets the divorce, and we're fighting for custody of the kids, right? Since I had this knowledge, I would not sign nothing. Why? Because I don't want to be in contract with the government entity, because it is no law saying that the child support division has to take the money from you and give it to the mom or give it to the dad. They can keep the money. There's no law saying they have to give it back to either side. Alright? Now, they make excuses for one way or the other, and to keep people from complaining, they kind of entice them with a little money. But in general, they don't have to. Read it and realize it specifically says there must be a contract. If you go into that court and if you sign anything to do with family law, you a tacit agreed to this. Okay? TACIT. Look it up. What's that word mean? Right? Basically, you're just saying what we're doing is just agree to the terms. All right, without full knowledge of it. Silence, acquiescence, basically same thing, difference, but basically same. Okay. What you're not doing is reading the contract all the way, and you just sign it. So you tacit agreed to what that contract says. Okay? So quit doing that. Read it. Now, this is before you married. Reread it with your new spouse. That way both of you guys had the full composition of what's going on in the 4D program. So if there is a split, both sides have full hand knowledge of the fact what's going to happen. This way, both sides will not sign this contract to screw themselves. Alright? But so, way before you even have kids, read it. When you have kids, read it again. Get refamiliarized. It's a contract. It is designed to screw both of you guys, the men and the women. It is designed on purpose for that. Okay? I would find a preacher on my next marriage and will not sign a marriage license, first of all. I don't want to be contracted to the state. I don't want to be married to the state of Texas. I don't love Texas in that way. Why in the world would I want the state of Texas to be in my contract with my spouse? I would try and pay extra for a preacher or somebody that's got some type of okayness to marry y'all. But if this may be done, this is make sure it's let known to them. It's going to be on the private side, not the public side. All right. You and your new spouse needs to make your own contract and try to think of things that may happen in the future that has happened to your family and to your spouse's family. And go down there and cover it. And let's just say somebody's dad cheated and mom divorced them for cheating. Well, let's specifically put the cheating in. If anybody cheats, they automatically voided the contract. And for one side or the other, it don't really matter who's the cause and effect of the cheating. We're still going to split the kids 50-50. You're responsible for your half. I'm responsible for my half. These kids are getting torn up and shredded and spitted out from the states, the federal government, and your parents. I'm the side effect of it. Only if I knew then what I know now. But read it before marriage. Read it right after marriage. And read it again when you have kids. And you can on this on this contract that you agreed to yourselves in the private, when period of time comes up, you could probably extend it, you know. And some things that may be left out and put on the contract that this can and shall be added in the future date of anything that may be brought up. And we must agree to these terms. Okay? Number one, we need to try to get rid of all these divorces and families stick together. It is way of a headache for everybody out there to have your kids, and then your kids have stepbrothers on this side, then they have stepbrothers and sisters on this side, so they got all this tangled up web, and then the next time you know that one of your kids married one of your cousins from the stepkids or whatever. It is legal and all that, but does that cause conflict in the family? It does. Whether you know it or not, it does. From someone. So we need to try to keep these families together, and both sides need to be honorable. Alright? It needs to be honorable. Both sides need to be honorable. They need to be honorable to once themselves, and then they got to be honorable to the kids. This is not really rocket science. And people make this so hard because of selfishness and greed. Alright, that's just my opinion, y'all, and I went too far. Alright? So the courts, technically, the only thing they did wrong is they are not telling you up front that, do you understand this is a private court because this is contract. See, this is civil, y'all. So this is a contract law thing. And if a judge says, I order you to sign this, that judge cannot make you sign a contract. That is Supreme Court opinion. Alright? No courts can make you sign a contract. I know someone has went through it, and I got it on recording, but it's so hard to hear. I'm trying to clean it up a little bit. That every time he went in there, I'm not here contracting. Well, you're ordered to sign this, and you're going to give this up, and you're going to give this up. Huh? No, I'm not. I'm not here to contract with y'all. And so far, he's got everything he had. Because there is no contract. The courts, the family courts, have no standing because he never signed anything. Now the other side did. They signed paperwork. But in order to have the contract, there has to be the two people to agree. He's not signing no contract. The only thing he did is got his marriage license and put void on there. And void on the woman and voided the Texas. He's no longer married to the state of Texas. He's no longer married to his wife. And they kind of didn't accept it. Well, it don't really matter if you accept it or not. I divorced you. Get over it. Anyway, please, for the love of God, y'all, look up the 4D program, or 4D child support agreement. Now, when I say 4D, right, when you type it in there, it's the numeral number of 4/D. Okay? It's not you type in FOR. It's the numeral number /D. Okay? And child support. Okay? And this is how they're getting jurisdiction over everybody. See, the courts don't even have jurisdiction over this. It's contract law. And because you signed it, you actually did put it into a jurisdiction. But even in that 4D, it says the judge is not clothed. What does that mean, y'all? If he's not clothed, that means he don't have the black robe on. It's a private court. Because you are entering a contract with the government. You and your spouse or ex-spouse is entering a contract with the government. The government is entering a contract with y'all. So it is a civil matter, and the judge cannot be a judge. That's the reason why it says it cannot be clothed. Any officers cannot be clothed. It's private court. So people say, well, there ain't no such thing as private court. Well, that's not according to what the 4D says. So they may not say plain out it's a private court, but when you read it out to the list, and they got description in there. The 4D is actually written out for the attorneys and the judges and all that. So they got sections in there that tells them that, this is a contract. This is what needs to be done, and it is private, so you cannot be clothed and all this. So this oath of office thing and all that kind of stuff don't work. You're in the wrong courts. Okay, you have no constitutional rights. You signed that away. You signed a contract with them. That is civil. You have no constitutional rights. So when I say that there's crooked judges, the crooked part is the crooked judges and attorneys know this is a contract, and they sucker you into because of the ignorance of the people and tacit agreement. You just sign to get along, to play along, and don't understand, and then you say you understand. You don't understand crap. You wake up one day, you get divorced. You wake up another day, you just lost your house and kids. And this could be either side, male or a man or the woman's side, Once again, I'm going to tell you guys, take care of your family. Alright? Both you, man and woman, if you decide to break it off, you go by the contract you signed, and do not sign the contract with the state or the federal government. Technically, the 4D is federal. So even if you got a marriage license with the state of Texas, you're still married with federal law. So please, read it before you get married. Please read it, both of you guys together. Read it after you get married. And when there's a new baby coming up, remind yourself what this 4D is going to do to your family. This will be People News. Bye, y'all.